Hi, everyone. Welcome to wherever you're watching from, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. My name is Bob Arons, and I will be hosting these videos, our video series, where we answer some questions about today about the EnergiCell, and the next videos are going to be different topics, but I'm helping ENG8 with their announcement to the world. Basically, it's very exciting. We're going live on all kinds of platforms, and today I'm joined by Haslam. Welcome.
Hi Bob. It's good to meet you today, Bob, and thanks very much for taking the time to set this up. And what I was going to do is you're going to ask me some questions. I think you've got 3 questions for me today, and then basically let's flow and let's try and help people understand what this amazing technology is about.
Amazing. Yeah, let's start. So ENG8 has an EnergiCell, and the question is, what is an EnergiCell?
Well, basically, we named our device an EnergiCell to differentiate it from the fuel cell. A classic fuel cell requires a fuel to go into it. So that could be hydrogen fuel cells, or it could be an alcohol fuel cell or a methane fuel cell, as an example. And what they do is they convert a fuel into a usable form of energy. That can be heat, or it could be electricity, for example. In our system, we are also a fuel cell, but we actually have water as the energy vector or the fuel coming into our system. So we thought we would create a new word, if that's the right word, for our system. We call it an energy cell, because it basically produces energy. And what is an energy cell? It effectively takes some electricity. We create a spark inside our energy cell. So behind me here, I have an energy cell that's in the lab on test, and we basically put high voltage electricity into that energy cell. And behind me here, we have basically the source of that high voltage electricity, this direct current, pulse direct current. And what does that do? We also have water that goes, is pumped into an energy cell. And that water goes in as at room temperature. It can be tap water, it could be seawater, as long as it's filtered and descaled. It goes into an energy cell. And then with a little bit of electricity, we create a plasma field inside the energy cell, and that releases energy from the water. So if you can imagine all the energy that has been absorbed by water over millions or billions of years, which is in the molecular structure of water, which is oxygen and 2 hydrogens, and in the hydrogens and in the oxygen atoms, we have found that there is different structures within the atoms. They can be para or ortho hydrogen, for example. So when the water goes inside the energy cell and comes into contact with the plasma field, what happens is the energy is released in the form of light inside an energy cell. And that light then hits the sides of the energy cell, which is a stainless steel. It could be a ceramic or a glass or a composite. And that then basically heats the sides of the energy cell, which heats the water. So the water is also the coolant. So you put in water from your tap, it goes through, it heats up inside an energy cell. Now it's pumped in under pressure, and it's pumped in under anywhere from 5 atmospheres of pressure to, let's say, over 50 atmospheres of pressure. And then depending on the temperature we want out, so the temperature coming out is related to the pressure, operating pressure of the cell. So to basically, for your house, you just want water at 100 degrees centigrade. So we would then set the pressure at just over an atmosphere of pressure, say 5 atmospheres. And then if you wanted to drive a steam engine, for example, we would set the pressure at 10 or 20 bar on the inside. So we've then got the pressure for the steam engine. And then the exhaust from the steam engine is also at 100 degrees centigrade. So that can also heat your house. So we can generate electricity off the back of the steam engine, and we can heat your house. And then if we want to run a steam turbine from it, for example, for larger applications, then we can run, let's say, 400 or 500 atmospheres, which is around 500 to 600 degrees centigrade. So we've got a very high energy output from it. So an energy cell is something very similar to a fuel cell, but it's different. Inside we have a plasma system inside. We have an electrochemical reaction happening inside the energy cell. The water's coming in. It's basically releasing its energy. It's going back out as steam, and then it can go into the environment and be recharged by the sunshine. And later it would rain and fall on the earth and go back into our water system. So it's a complete circular energy economy, if that's the right word. The energy goes in as water, it goes out as water, gets recharged, and comes back in again. So that's what an energy cell is, Bob.
Great. So it needs a spark, like an engine. You spark it inside, and then it just runs by itself.
Almost, but not quite. Because what happens, we spark it up, but actually, once we've ignited the plasma, we hold the plasma field on. So if you imagine the fluorescent light bulbs that are in many offices and houses in the world, you've got a capacitor there that kicks the spark in. We create the arc, and then we just back off the electricity, and then we've got a lovely little like miniature sunshine inside our energy cell. And from there, basically, the energy is being released, and it's being released stably. I mean, we've had these energy cells. We've been working on them for over 5 years. We've had them on independent testing. So they basically run for hours and hours. There's no moving components inside our energy cells. So they just run for hours and hours. And they basically take in water and with a little bit of electricity constantly running. So that would normally be drawn off the mains of the house. But once we connect a steam engine to it, then it's possible to it then generates its own electricity, and then it just runs on the fuel, which is water, which might sound absolutely amazing or even unbelievable, but the independent testing is proven it's a very stable process. As you'll see after this video, there'll be a little picture of an energy cell. It's just a stainless steel casing, could be a ceramic or a glass casing, could even be a composite casing if you use very specific composites. And that shows you how easy it is. So it's a mass producible solution to the current energy crisis and the climate crisis we're facing.
Yeah. And you already mentioned a little bit what happens inside. Do I say it right that that little plasma field, we'll get into that in later videos, but basically energy is pulled out of the water, like water contains energy. In the energy cell, it is set free, and that's the energy that is usable for your house, for your car, for...
Yeah, in a later video, we'll have the Chief Technology Officer on, and he will be able to explain exactly what's happening in the plasma field. But inside that plasma field, we actually have ions of hydrogen, which are basically hydrogenates, and we have ions of oxygen. And it's a real chemical soup inside there. And the localized pressures and temperatures actually go up to thousands of degrees centigrade and thousands of atmospheres of pressure. So it's almost like the conditions on the surface of the sunshine, but they're only happening for like nanoseconds inside in very localized areas within a very small plasma field. The plasma field in the energy cell behind me is only around 1 cubic centimeter in size. So it's tiny. And all that energy is focused into a very, very small area. So the general environment inside the energy cell is at quite a low pressure. So say, for example, 5 to 50 atmospheres or above, depending on the application. So we have amazing conditions inside the energy cell, these little miniature sunshine area. But outside that area, it's very normal hot water. And the Chief Technology Officer, Professor Andy Atkins, will actually be explaining that in a subsequent video, I'm sure.
Yeah, looking forward to that. As a last question, like you already mentioned something about it, but let's say I have this in my car.
Yeah.
It can drive my car.
Yeah.
So what comes out of it? Like I have this thing. You mentioned water coming out, like steam.
Yeah.
There's also electricity coming out.
There's no electricity coming out. We just have steam coming out.
Yeah, so steam is the main output.
Yeah, that's the main output. Actually, we can run it both ways. Either way, we can actually have a mixture of heat in the form of steam, but we can also actually produce hydrogen inside the cell. So let's say, for example, you just used as a car, we could actually have the hydrogen going into a hydrogen fuel cell or an internal combustion engine inside the actual inside the car, and we could run it that way. Or we could run it the way we are producing just high pressure steam to drive a steam engine, which drives an alternator or generator, which then puts the energy back in the system. So there are many ways it can be used, and I'm sure on other videos we'll show applications of it, probably from our patents, our patent figures, which show how you use it in a car, how you use it in a house, and how you use it in a boat, an aircraft, etc. So it can be used in so many different ways, but it's got an unlimited amount of applications, and we're just trying to find companies and universities that want to independently validate the technology, but also we want to find companies that want to partner with us. So if they want to do beta testing of how they can power some of their products, like heat pumps are now ×3 coefficient of performance, they could be 30, 40 coefficient of performance with an energy cell inside them. So there are many amazing ways we can collaborate with industry and other businesses to bring this technology forwards in a very fast way, so that we can decarbonize the global energy economy very fast, and at the same time we can reduce the cost of energy, because our fuel is just water. It's just costs nothing almost. So although it's vital to the planet's survival, but 2/3 of the planet is basically covered in water, and we can use seawater. We can desalinate seawater with the system. I mean, the potential is almost infinite. The source of energy is almost infinite. That's why we have that 8 sign after our name, ENG8. It's infinite energy, really.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I mean,
more in the future.
Very exciting, and we'll be posting videos here in the coming days to get that information out, to get this message out, and
maybe we can put this out at about 3:15 today as well. So then people can basically watch it over the weekend, and they can get in touch with us and see how they can engage. Maybe they want to become engineers with us. Maybe they want to help us with PR. Maybe they want to, there's so many ways people can join in. So let's just make this a global program and just get the planet to join in and decarbonize ourselves and reduce our energy costs as fast as possible.
Thank you, Hazel.
Hey, thanks, Bob. Well, have a beautiful day. And to all the viewers, thanks for following, and have a beautiful day too.
You too.
Thanks, Bob.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.